Hey guys and gals, it's Jim here with an update in case anybody's wondering what happened to the Grissom, the final video with it mounted on the finished base. That'll be coming in a few days. I ran into some pretty bad issues and all that. If you recall in my video, I had my base painted. It was basically the base coat of black. I did some transparent purple that I had laying around, a little bit of transparent blue. Testers in a rattle can to kind of give it like that galaxy kind of look, and then I oversprayed with a clear pearl, gloss pearl coat, clear testers in a rattle can to give it that little different haziness around different areas, and it had that little sparkly, like real tiny, stars and everything. Turned out looking pretty good. I decided I wanted to drill some random holes for some tiny fiber optics to give it like a little bit of star effect and all that. Well, problem is when I make my base, as you can see, I kind of frame. This is my outer baseboards, and then I use some. I pick up at Menards these strips of square dowel to do the reinforce to glue my piece of plywood to the top and all that So what happened was since I got those base parts and I used in a little tiny jeweler's drill bits and all that. I didn't want to drill through the thick wood and break a drill bit and all that, and not be able to put a fiber through there. The drills aren't long enough to go through those reinforcing boards. So what I did, I masked off around where I got my framework, so that way I knew where I could drill holes and where I couldn't. Turned out pretty good with the fiber optics, as you can see. They are all flush and all that. When you do look at it from the side, they do look like they protrude a little bit, but that's just actually the light popping off of them. But they are nice and flush. They've been sanded over just this morning. Took me about 2 hours to sand all the paint off the top of this base. What happened was when I pulled off my masking, it pulled up the pearl effect with it. It not the paint itself, but it somehow it drew out the pearl little pigments out of the paint, and I had a stripe going all the way around. That was it was the same color as the rest of the base, but for some reason it pulled up the little pearl pigments out of the paint. Even though it dried for about 3 days before I did any more work on it and stuff, it looked like garbage. There's no way I was going to use it to display the model and stuff. I wouldn't be happy with it looking at it by myself, even if nobody else saw it. But so this morning I got out my orbital sander, and it took quite a bit of work to get all that paint off of there and everything. Even though the paint was dry, once you start sanding and everything, it starts to gum up. But finally got her sanded back down. And all that. Got a little bit more sanding to do. I got a couple little edges I want to get on the side where the plywood meets the base and stuff. Did a little bit of more wood filler on there. But so I'll be repainting it this weekend, today and tomorrow and everything. So probably end of the weekend or sometime the beginning of next week, I'll have the final video on the Grissom mounted on the base and everything. But I just thought this will add a little bit more interest to the model and stuff. And once it's got the dark color back on there like I had previously, I think it'll look pretty sharp, and it's a little bit different than what I normally would do and stuff. So I didn't want to go too overboard and load her up and all that. And so I just figured a few holes here and there for some fiber optics, and she'll be fine. So, but anyway, that's what Jim's been up to. Also, I didn't do much work on it this past week. I've been wanting to sand it down each day I was going to work on it, but I've been having a little bit of an issue with my back and everything, and I just wasn't feeling 100%. I'm finally back to normal and all that, so I decided this morning I was going to get back to tackling this and finishing up and getting everything the way I wanted it to look. So that's what's been going on. So thanks for your patience and all that. So like I said, in a few days I'll have a final video on the Grissom mounted on the base and all that, and we'll do a quickie video on the final shot of the Grissom. So I want to thank all my subscribers. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for all the great comments you guys been leaving me. Hope everybody's doing great out there, and we're finally getting some nice fall weather. Cool at night, warm during the day. Um, and all that. So yeah, so far I'm happy with the way this is turning out. Now that I got the paint sanded down, I'll tell you what, even with my orbital sander, it was still, with some heavy grit sanding discs on it, it was still a pain to get that paint off because I just wanted to keep gumming up and smearing. I had to let it sit for a while. Go put a new sanding disc on my orbital, and keeping at it and stuff. I think I used like about a 60 grit to start with, and worked my way down to about 120 grit, so it's nice and smooth. But got a little bit of work I want to do, so now I'll just take my flat sheet sander and smooth everything down and everything. And once I get it painted, the nice thing about the fiber optics paint doesn't like to stick to the tips of it that well. So, and if it does, I can always pick them up with the tip of my X-Acto and stuff to bring them back to life and all that. So, but that's what's going on. So I'll be getting to work on this in another hour or so, starting to put the base coat back on, and then doing up my different paint effects and all that like I was planning to do. And so by the end of the weekend, beginning of next week, I should have the final video on the Grissom. So till the next time, everybody, take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.